But toy stores all over America have closed their doors forever. Ollie's stepped up and purchased hundreds and hundreds of truckloads of excess toys. Let Ollie's be your closeout toy headquarters. This is the biggest and the greatest toy closeout in our history. We've got brands like Mattel, Parker Brothers, Hasbro, Playskool, Fisher-Price, Disney, and more, all at up to 75% off the fancy store price. We have well over $200 million of toys, and trucks are rolling in daily. So hurry in now.
Ollie's!
Good stuff, cheap!
Welcome to the most important podcast you are listening to right now. The A Show with April Hunter and Aron Stevens.
Hi, and welcome to the A Show, where we are not live at the moment. We just finished a live recording, and we are rolling into our second one, where we promised to talk more about what we talked about previously. And we just talked about Ollie's and Chewy.com and and
we
Bridges.
were preparing for one show.
Yeah.
No, you guys are now in for a very, very different A Show experience, because today we're going to start off. We may go the whole damn show talking about bargains, where to find them, and what to find. And you can't mess around with this. This is as real as it gets.
So our producer was sharing with us a bridge that is. Go ahead, Colin. Please.
Yeah, Colin. Let's start this from the beginning. We'll
Okay,
so 5 minutes.
So this bridge is in Durham, North Carolina. It is 11 feet 8 inches tall. Well, now it's actually 12 feet 4 inches tall. They've recently raised it up a little bit, but this bridge has taken the lives of many box truck, 18-wheeler, tractor trailer, RV, anything that they've tried to move under this bridge. It has taken the top off. Like, it is a truck can opener.
It's a top taking life.
Yes, and it is kind of a thing. It's like a hidden gem in Durham. Like you kind of like Durhamites will tell you, like, you got to go see the bridge. You might actually see a truck hit it while you're out there watching it. But yeah, definitely go and check out this bridge in Durham if you're ever in North Carolina.
It's like go to NASCAR and go check out the bridge. Those are two things. You might see a wreck on either one of them. This is what Americans like to do. We're not sociopathic.
Yep.
So do you have a video clip of that we can?
Yeah, I can add one. I'm actually I'll just go ahead and share it here.
Please.
Yeah, we can add this, whatever.
Well, let me share this for the video footage here.
Yep, let's see so this is the bridge, Colin. This is what you're talking about.
This is part of the bridge right here. This is when it was 11 foot 8 inches.
Oh God, look at that. What the hell was in that? Who knows? But I tell you what,
An RV.
Wait a minute.
No.
Go RV.
Oh no.
Let's get Nope. Sorry. There goes your skylight, sir. Hope it doesn't rain.
The other one's probably stressing next to it. Oh.
Oh my God. Look at that. Peeled it right off like a can of sardines. It just. Oh. I mean, look at how flawless was that? The thing, it's like opening a can of sardines.
It's amazing. It's amazing that this bridge is still collecting lives like it is, and everybody knows about it.
I made the joke it perhaps was being funded by Ollie's Bargain Outlet, which, if y'all don't know what Ollie's is, it's an eclectic place. You go in there and you can get everything from socks to furniture for your patio or living room, to any kind of interesting glassware, to books, you can find anything at Ollie's, and then some, and at extremely, extremely low prices. So
this is what happens to it.
Yes, because I'm going to preface this now with Ollie's was started by the same people that own this place called Building 19, which I believe the first one was right in Worcester, Massachusetts, about probably 20, 25 minutes from where I grew up. And there would be trips made to Building 19. And then now it's an Ollie's, but Ollie's is they have it in Kentucky, they have it in Carolina, according to so like Ollie's is now national. But the reason they get things at low prices is because when an accident like that happens, and it doesn't matter, the truck could tip over or it could just be involved in a wreck, that merchandise is considered no good. No, so you can't take it to a store, even because it's been in a little wreck. If it's a TV, they have TVs there and everything. Of course, appliances. If it's messed up, it's been compromised in any way. No good. So Ollie's buys it for a song and sells it for a song and a half.
And this is not like mafia gangster stuff.
It's completely above board. Completely above board. Again, you can go to Ollie's, and some days it could be nothing. Absolutely nothing of value. You're like, what the hell? Other days you go in and it's, $120 bottle of Moroccan oil that you can only get at a super high-end salon, that it's sitting there for $7.95 for the low price of $7.95. Ollie's Bargain Outlet, Ollie's Discount World. I'm not sure what it is, but it's Ollie's.
I gotta look this place up.
Yeah, you don't know. You could be in the book section and nothing is really looking good, but then find like one book that you've been searching for your whole life, like or this hidden gem.
Like the Dr. Seuss band books.
Yes. 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 Which I guarantee you, somewhere at an Ollie's, buried underneath their stack of books, is one of those books that it's never. That's the kind of place. You really, really can't beat prices like that. And I even, when I was in WWE and my income had really kind of started to come in, and I never lived extravagantly, and I would always look for the places like Ollie's. I would go home and go Christmas shopping, and I would get yelled at by my family members. Like my cousins, like, why are you going there? Like my one cousin who takes me around Christmas shopping, Marina, God bless her. I've done this every year since she's had her license. She's like 25 now. But when I come home, I fill a tank up with gas. We go eat, and then she drives me around and tells me what to buy for everyone. So that's how we roll. And she was like, "What the hell are we going to Ollie's for? Really?" Like, but no, you have to go there because, damn it, you never know what you're going to find, and it's from
treasure hunt.
Accidents like that. Yes, no, you can appreciate a good bargain, right? You're in the farmers market world. You're in.
God, yeah. I don't even like celebrate Christmas properly. I call it Yule, probably. I mean, I love Christmas. I love it, but I do more of a Yule style. So it's more about like food, friends, handmade gifts, kind of stuff. Like I do my best.
Yeah.
Not to spend any money at all. Like I just don't feel like a holiday is worth going into debt for. I just
Agreed.
don't. So I don't know. I don't feel like a lot of things are worth going into debt for. I mean, like things that make your life easier and things that go towards your health and things that improve your property values. Yeah, of course. These are things for your pet that make them healthier. But I mean, shit, no. So I've always been cheap. You and I have had that in common.
Yeah, but you don't have to at Ollie's. $20 can get you hundreds of dollars worth of quality.
Nice.
And I mean that. I am not messing around here.
That's a good tip. You're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to
from you.
Go to Ollie's. And it's you're welcome. That's how. But
so as long as we're shilling, while we were doing the last episode, somebody knocked on the door, and I just thought it was like a delivery, and it was. And I got flowers. So yeah, I knew it wasn't the ex because he doesn't do flowers. So I looked, and these are gorgeous, right? The yellow roses and everything. And I looked on the card. Try not to shake the whole thing. I put it back. And they're from Chewy. They're for Bella. They said, "We're sorry for your loss." They're from Chewy.com. I guess because I have to get a lot less now. I buy all my stuff for my dog and my cat and my hens. You can get bird stuff through them too. And because I have to cut down on my auto shipments, they sent flowers for her passing. I just thought that was so sweet.
That is so cool.
They have the best customer service ever. So here's another story about them. I tried to get a ramp for Bella I think it was about a year ago, because she was losing her legs, and she still wanted to be able to get up and down on her own. It was probably about a year and a half ago. And she just didn't take to the ramp for whatever reason. Sorry, I'm adjusting the fan. We're in Florida. It's hot. And I tried to work with her with the ramp, tried to not work, she's just wasn't having it. So I contacted them to return it, and they're just like, keep it, donate it to the Humane Society or whatever. And I was just like, really? Like, and then another time, they donated a Supergirl costume to her, because we do cosplay. Because I had a matching one. Like, I have had nothing but good experiences with Chewy. So yeah, they're hands down the best pet service. You can get I got my meds for the pets through them. I can't recommend them highly enough. So
that's so cool.
I'm not endorsed by them. I'm just saying, I'm just a happy customer.
Well,
so
it's a real. That's about as real as it gets.
Yeah. Just a happy customer. So I highly, highly recommend. Don't do it to get free shit. I mean, they're actually really good. So.
Yeah. But no, I mean, they just seem like a very kind company, like a corporation
that's it.
They maintain some humanity, which is very nice and refreshing.
That's it. You don't always. That's the word exactly. You don't always run into companies that aren't all about greed and are about kindness and customer support, and they are. They've retained that, and they've been around for a long time. So
great.
There you go.
Good.
That's my thing. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm fine.
Did I cut you off?
Not at all.
Oh, okay. So I was speaking of customer support and kindness and things like that, like good things. I was reading that. Hang on. We are using our artificial intelligence for good, or maybe not us, but the
like you
Danish
and me personally, we don't have because we don't have access to artificial intelligence. I'll be very honest with all of you. There's no robots.
The Danish they are using drones to look for trash in waterways, and then those drones deploy sailing drones to come in and clean it up. So together, flying drones and sailing drones are helping to clear rivers of plastic waste and oil spills.
How amazing is that?
Yeah, they use a small machine called Waste Shark. It's now autonomously sailing through the water, collecting trash, bringing it to shore, and then recharging itself. Soon, a drone will begin flying through the air to help, using a special lens that collects data to be crunched by machine learning and algorithm, and the drone can identify pieces of plastic or other garbage and direct the sailing drone to go pick them up. It also identifies oil spills, which Waste Shark can help to clean up with a special filter.
God,
so I know. I thought that was pretty amazing. I'm like, that's badass. Fastcompany.com broke that story today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice cool. to hear cool things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That really is amazing. I mean, that's one of those things where technology can be used for good or bad, and the Danes or Danish, I guess the Danes, right, would be
the Danes, yeah.
Wow, like that's definitely a step up. And we were actually talking at the end of our last show about the environment and just how we need to start taking care of it. And I think this is great. This is something that we're not seeing Skynet. We're seeing a bunch of drones that don't like to litter. That's cool.
Yeah.
But how awful is it that we need artificial intelligence to take care of our own planet?
I know.
There's something for theme in here, but they're doing it for good. And I love the Danish. I love their pastries, and I love what they're doing for the environment.
Yeah. Well, it would be great if we could get some of those drones over here in Florida to help with the manatee crisis.
Yes, along with those little cheese the things with the white frosting on top.
Those too. We would like some of those Danish as well. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we have some issues here in Florida with our pollution and our marine life. So
yes, you were saying
please send your drones, and please send your lemon and cherry Danish as well.
So yeah, and you were saying last show. I know I made the Danish joke, but look, it was right there.
Oh yeah.
So the waste and the pollution's causing a bacteria that's depleting the manatee's food source. Was that?
Yep.
What you said was going on?
Yeah, it's causing an algae to bloom that is killing the food source, which is driving the manatees into colder and colder water, which is making them die. Like hundreds and hundreds are dying. They're just it's like mass death.
That's not good.
No, it's not. So
something we should think of. I mean, look, walk the exit. And when I lived in Puerto Rico, that's when I actually really developed that, like, because that was, the first time I was living off the continental United States, and you're there and you realize, like, wow, what a beautiful, beautiful island. And you see people litter. It's like, come on, why? Like, this beach is for everyone. And, I always say, and to this day, like when I'm at the beach, if I see something, I will pick it up and put it away. Yeah. Like I leave the beach cleaner than I found it. And I don't know why that's resonated with me so much, but I'm a very, very strong proponent, advocate, in keeping the environment clean, especially the beaches. Because that's just, I don't know, that's
it was too, I think. I see a lot of abandoned masks, and that's not,
Yeah, you don't need that. Like, come on, really? Like, pick it up. I mean, it's that's just crazy. Not necessary is what it is. It's not a necessity that we should be doing this, but again, hats off to the Danish for both pastry and using technology to make the planet better. And I hope that we can get to a point where we can be as advanced as the Danes.
Well, the Vikings have always been advanced. They've been ahead of everybody, and the Danes are part of that group. So little known accepted fact is that Christopher Columbus did not actually discover America. 500 years before him, it was Leif Erikson, a Viking, the son of Eric the Red. He discovered America around the year 1000. For some reason, we are not taught this in school, I don't believe. So, yes, the Vikings discovered us. And most of the countries with the name land were discovered by Vikings, like Scotland and Iceland.
They were very practical people.
Newfoundland.
They were very practical
country,
people.
But yes, they were.
They're on the water so much. When they see land, they appreciate it. Like, whatever the hell it is, land. Like, thank God we're here,
That's actually what Viking means. They weren't called Vikings. The word a Viking is a verb. It means to go exploring, usually by water. So, they were called that by people after them, but they were just called the Norse or the Danes or the Rus, the Russians.
Like Eric Redbeard, Eric Rowan we call him the man from the north. That's his secret name in wrestling. Everyone refers to him. The man is still in my phone. The full name, the man from the north. That's him. And
that's funny.
Yeah. Excellent, and a very talented human being too. And he's my other redheaded friend.
Everybody needs a redheaded friend.
He has a giant red beard. It's not. He doesn't have the red hair.
We bring the crazy and the fun and the truth to things. Is he a lot like me, just a male version? In some ways.
God, April. No. You know what? We should have him on the show. He is a character. He's one of those people that, like, you see him on TV and he moves good and stuff, but like when you see him in person, you're just like, oh my God, you are a massive human being. Like, he is so much bigger than people think.
That's how you are. You don't look as big on camera as you are in person. Like, you're a giant person. You're really tall. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really come off as much on camera.
No, he makes me look small. I mean, he's just a giant, like, Viking. I mean, he's like a Viking. His wrists are just thick, and but man, is he would be he'd be a good guest on here.
Yeah, we should start having some guests now that we're,
I think so.
a few shows in. Yeah, we could probably do that between you and
Who
I.
would
We know
y'all
some
like to see
people.
on the show?
Yeah,
Like, we'll break that out to the people. Whatever, right? Whatever. Who would they like to see? What kind of stuff?
yeah, we could do that. We
Mhm.
could do that. So I had an interesting conversation with a good friend of mine, Amy. So it was always a revelation once we get actually, into conversations. And she brought something up to me that hit me really like hard enough for me to write it down. We were talking about relationship stuff, and again, I don't want to like just do relationship stuff because people tend like to do the spirituality and stuff too, and we hit all
We
topics.
touched on
But
everything.
this was interesting to me. She had her thought, and she finished off with, compromise is not sacrifice. She goes, a lot of people get that really wrong about relationships. And that struck a chord with me because so many people think they have to sacrifice in relationships, and you don't. Compromise is not sacrifice. And I've never heard anybody say that before. And she said, and somebody else said this too, that you don't have to work at a relationship. That's like a misnomer. If it's a good relationship, it just works. If you're trying to shove a square peg through a round hole, there's probably a misalignment of things, like your morals and values aren't adding up, and it's not working. So,
Yeah,
as a
I
whole.
agree.
So
I agree.
I thought that was an interesting thing that she brought that up, that sacrifice is not compromise and compromise is not sacrifice.
Yeah, and now if we kind of dive deeper into that, because like, okay, if you compromise, you essentially either give something up, even if it is your time to do something, to proactively do something. You're essentially sacrificing a portion of your time to do that. So sacrifice in the sense of your current lifestyle, the homeostasis that is your life, whatever that is, will change, right? But in the long run, it could be far better, and that's what makes a good relationship. So when you compromise, you're compromising in order to perhaps even
the greater good.
Greater good. Or I don't want to say the term level up, but that is kind of what it means to me. Like you could compromise, but in the end of the day, you realize you're not sacrificing anything. You have, in sense, heightened your life experience. Is that what you think?
I think that's accurate. If you are if you are compromising, or in your case, like some people might view that as a sacrifice, or but I think it's if you're compromising and you're getting something out of it, and you're becoming a better person, and you're getting an experience, that's not a sacrifice. That is a compromise. If this is at the behest of who you are, like you are in this relationship and it's costing who you are, you're compromised. You are, I'm using these words interchangeably, but you are compromising your morals and values to be with this person. You're not able to speak up or ask for what it is that you want or need. That is actually a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So, again, these words aren't really interchangeable. They can be used that way, but they're not, So if it's costing you in a negative way, it's a sacrifice. If it's something you give up and it's a positive, it's a compromise. Does that make sense?
It does. Yes, it does.
So, then something else I learned recently that I think we're guilty of, a lot of us are guilty of, is that people who are fiercely independent actually have trust issues. So if you're if you're one of those people who are as like very, very independent, it probably means you've been let down before, and you're afraid to ask for help, and you're afraid to rely on people, and it really just means you've got a lot of trust issues. And that hit me pretty hard when I read that one. It probably hits a lot of people hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking that speaking of compromise and sacrifice and trust issues and being fiercely independent, if we were going to do a homework assignment this week, which we haven't done in a couple of weeks, and this is not necessarily relationship, like romantic relationship. This could be anything, whether it's work or family or friends. Maybe this week, delegate to somebody or ask somebody for something. Somebody preferably you can rely on that you feel would actually help you, whether it's something small, like ask them to bring you a coffee to work, or ask them to, what's something small? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, bringing a coffee or just
ask somebody for something that you need or want. And even if they let you down and don't come through, just know that you reached out and asked. And that alone is really difficult for a lot of us, to ask for help, to delegate something. So try and do that and see how it goes.
You know what?
You might find that people will do more for you than you think. And don't micromanage them. Just say, hey, can you do me a favor? Would you do this for me? Or could you do this for me, please?
Here's an example. At the NWA tapings, there was a young man who just was there. He had gotten there somehow, and he just came up to me and said, hey, excuse me, sir, who can I talk to, like, about submitting a resume? I'd like to, have a career in pro wrestling as either a backstage interviewer or on the broadcast side of things. Who would I? And I was so, like, blown away by, like, oh, cool, this dude actually asked me. So I went and I introduced him personally. Like, I walked him right up to who the guy is, Joe Galli. And I was like, hey, what can we, just this is so-and-so. Can you guys, and like, I did. I thought it was really cool that he asked. And I didn't know this young man now, but my take is he will have a very good career because, again, just asking, because they're not, look, sometimes people are really cool. Sometimes people aren't, but you never know until you ask. And I've suffered because I haven't asked. I haven't kind of spoken up when I should have just been a little more forthcoming, to where I think my career has had some, setbacks and things like that. And, with me, I'm not like that anymore.
Yeah, people like to be entrusted with something. They like to do acts of service. And there was an experiment done with strangers where somebody would leave their book bag or their purse there. And if they left it there, it might have ended up stolen. But if they asked the stranger next to them, hey, could you please watch my bag? It would 100% of the time be there when they got back.
Wow.
Like 100% of the time. So they're entrusting a stranger. They're asking them, hey, can you watch my bag?
That's cool. And
it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that very person that might have stolen it ended up being the one that made sure they watched it. So it's not always the lens that we see through is the way that we see life through is the same way that other people see life that way. I don't know. I probably said that all wrong, but people can translate it. So.
No, very true. Very, very true. And that's it. That is a great homework assignment. I'm going to do that. I'm going to even double down on that. So next week I'll hopefully have some wonderful stories to tell.
I would like to hear that one.
Yeah. So that's just, again, just another little thing that you don't know. Because it's funny when I asked Tony Atlas how to be a pro wrestler at that show in Southbridge, Massachusetts. Never forget it. He said, hang on, I'm going to introduce you to the Boston Bad Boy. He introduced me to Tony Rumble. Tony Rumble's the guy who made the introduction to Walter that night.
That's interesting.
And it was because I asked Tony Atlas. Wow, that kind of just hit me. That's if I hadn't have done that.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah, but if I hadn't have done that, how different my life would have been. I mean, I maybe would have made it to Kowalski's eventually, but who knows?
I don't know. You might have ended up somewhere else.
Yeah,
if you sit around and wait for things, to be offered, you might be sitting around for a whole lot of time.
Yeah. 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 Well,
I'm trying to think of all the things I've asked for that I've gotten. I asked for a lot, yet I don't. I remember I asked for chickens for my birthday one year, and I got 4 of them. I still have one. This was almost 6 years ago. Yeah, things that change your life, right?
Yeah. Wow, crazy stuff. So, how Colin, how are we doing? Like, how are people digging the show? We'd like to have you on here. We want to get like the vibe of what the A show is becoming, because again, we have discussed everything from spirituality / religion to what goes on at the end of a Ren fair, and everything in between.
What goes on at the end of a Ren fair, in your opinion, in your interpretation?
Yeah.
And maybe in reality, we're not really sure.
Well, y'all answered that question on that episode of what goes down at a Ren
That was
fair.
not up for debate.
Now we need to know what goes down at the end of a Comic-Con or anything like that, or all those people hanging out afterwards.
Furries.
Furry convention, stuff like that. I think overall everybody is enjoying the content. They love the fun and enlightening side of things, and how you guys can go into deep conversations. We have, I think, the last episode we just did live, we recorded just about an hour or so ago. We had 2 pastors, Jay Reezyman and one of our other WWE Front Row that is a patron of ours. They love the esoteric talk, the religious talk. You know, we have that aspect, and then we've yet to really release any episodes of you guys talking wrestling yet. So I think in a week or 2 will be the first episode where you actually kind of do some things talking wrestling and stuff like that. Aaron's got the NWA shirt on today. He's rocking
I did that reverse like the weatherman. And
I have the wrestling outfit on too.
She's got the puppies. Mine. She's got the puppies out.
Yep. Keeping it real.
But I think you guys as a whole, as somebody who's been doing podcasts for a year and a half, 2, maybe 3 years now, you guys are growing. Everything is great with you guys. I have fun producing the show, sitting here watching you guys and listening to your anecdotes and the stories and stuff that you guys have. I think I just saw one commenter on Twitter said that you guys really love Germany. It seems like we've talked about Germany a couple of times in each of these episodes, and even on the live show, I think you guys talked about Germany today.
We did. Deutschland.
Overall, you guys are doing great. I think we get some guests in here. We definitely pan out. And I hate to put you on the spot right here, Aaron, but Stevie Ray actually wants you to come on his show next week sometime, so we can talk about that.
Yes, absolutely, 100% done.
So there you go, right there on air.
They're both good people.
Yeah, we're breaking news. So we'll get Aron Stevens over there with Stevie Ray.
I mean, without a doubt, and I'm honored that he asked.
Yeah, so we'll work that out. I mean, like you said, all this cross promotion. April's going to be on the Beautiful People. Yeah, you know, it's just connecting and building and getting more and more and bringing more people on and just getting the word of the show out. And I think we've done a really good job of that. You know, I won't go into details about some of the things that we have going on behind the scenes, but you know, we have the giveaway as well. We had for all the people that signed up on Patreon for the month of March, we had a Young Bucks comic that we were giving away that's signed by both the Young Bucks and one of their wives who did the illustrations for the comic book.
Doesn't get any better than that.
No, so we've got that going out. Nope. And just like I said, I mean, you guys have been amazing. It's awesome watching you guys grow, doing what you guys are doing. And this is the shill episode. I feel like we talked about this pre-show. we shilled for Ollie's, we shilled for Chewy.com, and now I'm over here shilling for you guys.
We had to ask. Just like the assignment, we had to ask, right? I mean, how are we doing? Like, you don't know. And now I'm going to be a guest on Stevie Ray's podcast with it. That's great, right? I mean, that's like asking to be on another podcast, right? Or other podcasts asking us. Like, there's a whole that's how that's done, right? That's how we all grow. And I think, again, like that young man who just was so respectful and so cool. It was just, it was refreshing because a lot of people, like, they go to the back and they don't say anything. And, you say hi, you introduce yourself to somebody. And the thing about our locker room is we're all very accessible, and it's a very, very laid back place. To where, like, the guys, like Trevor Murdoch, Chris Masters, Tyrus, like, we're not unapproachable. Like, no, we're very just chill, and, like, people we've never met before. By the end of the 3 days, we were laughing, joking, like, and to the younger people that are, and I assume this is true outside the wrestling business, but I know it's true in Hollywood too. But, like, you got to ask. You have to ask. And sometimes, like with me, I knew it was always, like, I don't want to say pride, but maybe it was. Maybe I'll just call it for what it is.
Pride.
No, I don't want to ask. I want to get this on my own. Not the way to be. Not the way to be at all. Asking for help, especially if it's someone that's willing, it's a genuine ask. It's not like one of these, oh, hey, did you see my match? Well, what can I do to get better? When let's face it, will you help me get a job here is what that is. And that's fine, right? That's absolutely fine. That's the way the world works, right? Like, when we get in positions to help people, we do the best we can, hopefully. And then when we're up and coming, we want to be seen because we want to make a career, right? I mean, that's just how it is. That's just the dynamics of it. So let's not call it anything it's not. But you can tell, like, if something's genuine. Hey, did you see my match? Like, what'd you think? What's this? And look, there's always going to be a little bit of, hey, can you help me get a job here? But there's just, like, I think, different degrees of it. A little genuineness goes a long way with me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, and and that's both Hollywood and here. And then, like, I've made some mistakes because I just don't want to see people. I out here, like, I don't want to go to this person's house, and I just genuinely am not a fan of theirs. As a human being. And I don't mean, like, anything derogatory, but, like, it's just like, no, I don't want to hang out with them. And maybe that, again, pride or whatever, but hey, we're all a work in progress. We're all moving forward. And we all we can do is the best we can do at the time we're doing it.
It's hard to hang out with people sometimes if you're an introvert. I'm going to give you a pen that doesn't click. It's hard to hang out with with people if you're an introvert, and there you go. And they're not your favorite people. It really just takes the energy out of you. Like, you almost have to psych yourself up to do it. Stop clicking your pen. I'm going to beat you.
That was Morse code.
That was SOS.
Sorry, I won't click the pen anymore, but I had to. I was doing something. I had to do something. You gave me something. I had to run with it somehow. So, well, anyways.
Wait, if you go back to wrestling, you can actually. Will you stop it, you fucker? If you
pen is down.
Fine. If you want to wrap wrestling and spirituality in one, we could talk about Killer Kowalski.
Oh my God, yes.
He was ahead of his time with everything. We had advanced training and way more than wrestling with that guy in that class. So his spirituality, like, was everything that he was. He was also a raw vegan juicer, and his spirituality what was his religion? You said
Mel Simons said he went to the I Am Church, which was essentially the power of I Am, because I remember on my first day there, before I even learned how to lock up, he's like, what you think you become, what you say you become, what you feel you become. And it literally, like, it was the secret.
Way before the secret.
20 years before anyone even heard of it.
Yep. He had a sign on the wall. There was and the word was can't.
Yeah.
He believed the 4-letter word that you cannot use was can't.
Yeah. Yeah. God, he was, and with the magnets, when everyone thought he was crazy, but now you go to CVS, you go to Walgreens, like, they have a whole section of magnet bracelets. I mean,
I wear magnet bracelets.
Yeah. And his magnets were, I mean, these things were like Jedi powerful. He would hold it. I'm not kidding.
They would stop a truck.
He held it. It was probably within a foot of a metal chair, though. But the magnet was the size of a quarter. Okay, so this thing is just the size of a quarter.
But it was this thick.
And it was thick, but it was like in the circumference of it, it was probably, I'd say, between a quarter and half an inch thick. Probably half an inch thick.
Yeah.
Half an inch
and
thick.
there's like a washer on the other side.
Yes, with the diameter of a quarter. Yeah. So essentially a half-inch thick quarter, and he would hold it, and the metal chair would go, and when he would have it on his pockets and stuff, like if he put an armband, you'd walk by something metal and it would attract, what's his name from X-Men, like Magneto. It was
yeah.
No, it was the highest powered magnet I've ever come in contact with. The ones that pick up cars and stuff. I mean, this is a different level than a charge, but was just a regular magnet. But damn it.
To this day, I have not been able to find another one. I was looking for that too. It used to be in a drawer and I can't find it. He put that on like an armband for me and I wrapped it around my knee. I had that for years. I had a partially torn quad tendon. So I went in for like MRI. And they kept telling me there's nothing wrong with my knee. I'm like, there is something wrong with my knee. And finally they saw that the quad tendon was partially torn. And I had the choice of surgery or like PT and the magnet. And after 2 years, it grew back. It grew back stronger than it was before. Wow. So with the right diet, the right PT, and that magnet, it just brought everything, brought the circulation there.
Yeah. Remember he would mark with a file because you had to use the North Pole end, I think.
Yes.
So mine is all rusty and I don't know where it is. It's at my parents' house somewhere, but it got kind of rusted, so I don't know what the north end or the south end is, but I still have it. So I'm afraid to use it now because if it's like the south end, I'll grow up and I'll have like a third kneecap or something like that.
You grow a horn out of your back.
Yep. So that was interesting, but no, Killer was so far ahead of his time with that stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
The
stuff he was practicing that way back when is stuff that is now coming to light.
They call it the New Age movement, which is, I always felt that kind of funny.
I hate that word, New Age.
Yeah, really me too.
There's got to be a better word for that, honestly. I mean, New Age just, I don't know. I feel like it undermines what it is, I guess I call it metaphysical.
Yeah.
So it's not a movement. It just is, it's like a scientific, it's where science and spirituality marry and meet and marry.
And I think now, with more advances in the natural sciences, obviously, it changes the dynamics of spirituality to where, we have to tell a different story because the sun is not God flicking on a light switch, but to appreciate the design of the sun, the design of the universe, the brilliance of the law of gravity, that which we cannot see but use every single second of our lives, that to me is where the awe of God comes in, not again, just a white man with a white beard sitting up in the clouds on a throne, checking your name off. It's
that's Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He's saying if you're, naughty list, not so naughty list. He's going through your browser history.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of pretty much the principle. Yeah. And I for one, the further you go back, and if you really kind of get, in my opinion, to the teachings of, the great teachers, Buddha, Jesus, it's really, really simple. Moses, you know what I mean? We can't forget him. Be kind to others, right? And it's do unto others. That golden rule can be found in every single major religion in the world. Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and Buddhism. Every major religion has a golden rule, and it's kind of the same. So I think that boils down to now. And when you say metaphysically, not to get off track here, but they have proven that a positively charged thought has a different frequency than a negative thought, right? Like you have a different biological reaction in your brain. And I think all that is that's modern science beginning to prove what these great teachers in the past have known. Because, like, I don't know how electricity works. I can't wire a house. I just know that if I flick the light switch on, the light comes on, right?
Right.
And I think like that's how sometimes what these teachers have tried to just tell us, like, no, if you're just kind, then like things will be okay. I mean, looking into the world of Kabbalah, like, which is pretty much all that. It's just being kind, being nice, giving. Like, it's better to give than receive. Like, really, that kind of, philosophy, which every major teacher has subscribed to. So how cool is that? And how wonderful is that? And I think, again, that should be like what should be focused on, to unite us as people, as opposed to, wage wars and crusades over artifacts and plots of land.
It's against Islamic law to deny someone a meal if they're hungry. And the reason for it is. And Ramadan was created for empathy. So from sunup to sundown for 30 days, you don't get to eat, drink. You have to abstain from pretty much everything, sex, smoking, everything, unless you're, medical, you have a medical reason or you're pregnant. But it's so you experience hunger, real hunger for 30 days, and you understand what it's like to be starving. Because I guess there's a method behind that where we don't truly get it unless we are it and have experienced it. And a lot of people don't necessarily learn about religions that aren't theirs. So they don't necessarily understand some of the good things about them too.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite things, not Ramadan, but I like the concept behind it. I like the law about, the feeding people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The kindness behind it.
Yeah.
One of the great differences between the Bible and the Quran is that the Quran was orated directly from Allah, or it's believed to, just one fell swoop. And the Bible was written by multiple authors at various different times.
Yeah.
Useless
cool.
Knowledge.
Not useless at all. No, not useless at all. It's funny. Like, we have sacred text, whatever the sacred text is, like, where the origins, like, you can debate the origins of those, like, and really at the end of the day, it comes down to faith. It comes down to individual faith, to where we've said, look, the theory of the Big Bang was actually invented by a Catholic priest. So, okay, like the fact that, like, again, God created Adam and then he, like, no, there is obviously some type of a deeper meaning, metaphoric, through symbols, through whatever, right? A deeper meaning to what's going on there. Because if that was the case, again, a Catholic priest wouldn't have been able to say, hey, you know what? I don't think that, like, God was just walking around one day and said, again, you acknowledge the deeper meaning of these sacred texts, and you can extract the lesson. It's a great thing. That's what it's all about.
Okay, so I dated somebody who told me he believed every word in the Bible was historically and factually correct, verbatim, literally, as is. It was not a metaphor. It was 100% factually and historically correct. There are people out there that believe that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Not to put you or him on the spot, but, like, was this person kind?
Huh?
Was this person kind?
Yes. I say that because he had his moments of
No, we all do.
for the most part, he is a kind person. Yes.
strive to do
He's
the
a good,
right
a
thing.
good person. Yeah. Yes.
Strive to do the right thing.
In the bigger picture, I know where you're going. Yes.
Then at the end of the day, that is what works for him.
That is
And
true.
who or any of us could judge that? Now, there's those of us that just to get spiritual fulfillment, we need to kind of be like, no, what does this really mean? Like, no, a snake didn't all of a sudden grow vocal cords and start saying, hey, young lady, you should really try. Come on, right? There's those of us that psychologically, for whatever reason, look for a subtext or a meaning beneath the actual words, right? Now, if the meaning that we find makes us good people, makes us kind, makes us followers of the golden rule, to do unto others, then is that not the path for them? You know what I mean? And that's why I hey, if a person, like whatever they believe, if they're a good person, I mean, really, and even if they're not a good person, who the hell am I to judge? Because I have more issues than Rolling Stone. We know this, but I just love that line.
I know you do.
But
Rolling Stone's been around a long time, though.
It has. But no, it's just what works for the individual, right? What works for us, and it's in that we would want our decision to worship a deity or follow the teachings of someone respected, where then we have to give that respect to other people, regardless of what they are. I mean, unless they're preaching like, discriminate against people and like one race is superior to another, and you should just, anarchist and the extremist. No, I mean, obviously that's stupid, but no, in terms of like following your own individual spirituality to try to make the world a better place, or for whatever reason, like we need to respect their opinion regardless, because we in turn want ours respected. So that's all.
I mean, there's a possibility of respecting people's opinions just because, too. It's kind of like doing something for somebody and expecting nothing back. You just did it, Like, I mean, plus there's a lot of people that don't worship a deity at all. Maybe they worship nature, like pagans and Wiccans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, even they,
the earth. They have earth
even they, like even pagans, there's an acknowledgement of that which we cannot see. And I believe the, like a lot of like pagan, neo-pagan, like you have reverence for nature because nature is in and of itself a reflection of the creator.
Right. Okay.
Where, like we have the pentagram, right? Everyone, and here's another thing. This is a little, dropping some knowledge for your ass. Everyone thinks that the pentagram is an evil symbol. Like if they see a pentagram, they're, oh my God, that's it.
Hold on. Before you go into the definition, let me just tell you, this is the danger of brainwashing. This is the danger of the media, what we're talking about right here. The pentagram was so closely associated, I think when I want to say the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, something like that, with being, I don't know, vile and evil and destructive. And remember Tipper Gore and all the censorship and the parental labeling and parental advisoring and the banning of music. Like we had the cancel culture starting back then with the boomer era, where, they were canceling our culture in the 80s. So Two Live Crew and Public Enemy and Sinead O'Connor, who warned us way ahead of time what was going on with the priests, and how many lives and how many people would have been helped and saved if we just listened to her instead of banning her.
Yeah.
And telling her, you can never work in this country again. You can never make another album ever again. Then it comes out 20 something years later. Oh my God, she was right. Did anybody ever apologize to her? No. But we use the pentagram for all the things that we said, were ruining youth. And they were, what's the word I'm looking for? We use that symbol kind of like how the Nazis took over the swastika.
Anarchy, right? Anarchists.
Yeah. And we put we assigned a really awful meaning to it.
There's a lot of occultism associated with it. And
it's sacrifice and devil and this, that, and the other. And we have been brainwashed to, even me, I know I'm open-minded and I know what the pentagram means, but I still have a physical, visceral response. I feel it when I see the pentagram. Even though I made Christmas ornaments like that this year, I kind of did that out of trying to get over that, because I wanted to you saw my little hurricane branch pentagram ornaments, because I wanted to try and get over that, because it was so ingrained in me that pentagram's evil, it's bad, it's evil. Oh, and that's the effect. That's how dangerous it can be. And people don't know if they realize. So go on.
Yeah, but no, originally. And by the way, we put pentagrams on top of our Christmas trees, ladies and gentlemen. They're called Christmas stars. Just saying. But what the pentagram is, right, in the paganism, which is obviously like Wicca is a part of paganism. Like there's pagan beliefs and stuff and several Wiccan styles, shall we say. But the pentagram, so it's your 4 earth elements, right? You have earth, air, fire, and water, which are your 4 elements. And then they believe the 5th, which is why the pentagram faces up, right? When the little point's up. So that's spirit. That's your spirit that activates and animates life.
Crown chakra.
Yes. It's exactly. No, but it's that which, again, it gives animation to it's the breath of life. It is like the essence of everything, from a blade of grass to a human being. Now, there's been the inverted pentagrams where it's pointing down. That means a little more earthly. Like that symbol can be a little more.
You're giving into your vices and your earthly desires.
It's again, symbols only have the power that we give them, I believe. But the upside down pentagram, I don't draw those too much. Let's say, but. No, your basic pentagram, again, earth, air, fire, water, and the spirit, which gives life. I mean, that's a beautiful symbol. And then it has been now turned into, people automatically think it's
scary. Scary.
Why were we talking about this originally? I completely,
I don't know.
We went down a rabbit hole, but.
We did. But if you are studying Wiccan and you are a beginner, this is your symbol. And if you're advanced, that's your symbol before you get to a full pentagram where you're able to put it all together. So not always when it's pointing down is it necessarily bad. It's to signify that you just...
No, when it's attached, when it's an actual pentagram. Yes, when it's an actual pentagram inverted. That's what I'm saying, not the triangle. No, and those triangles, there's earth, air, fire, and water. The triangle with like air is the triangle with the line through it. Water, I believe, is just the triangle, like you said, I believe. Fire is a regular triangle, and earth is down with a line through it, I want to say. But yeah, it's when you have the 5 points, and it's facing downward, that's kind of, that's the thing. But then like the actual symbol of the downward triangle itself, I don't think that's bad.
It's very Da Vinci.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the male thing. It's like you have to receive, right?
Yeah.
You receive. You're a receptacle for the knowledge, and then in the end, you send and you give and you help others, right? That's kind of like the whole flow of it, I believe. So yeah, I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole. I think it was talking about Kowalski and his ahead of the time and being physical and marrying science and what's an easy one?
Yeah.
And we've gone in another hour.
We have.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. So if we want to wrap that up, we can.
Yeah, let's recap the assignment. Assignments are very, very important. And we're back at them. So the assignment for this week
is to delegate to someone, to ask somebody for something, even if it's something small, like, hey, watch my bag, or can you bring me a coffee on your way in, or
a job.
Yeah, or a job. Ask somebody for a job.
Make an introduction. Yeah, like, can you introduce me to somebody?
Introduce me to somebody. Ask somebody to help you. So ask somebody for something. People like to help, and it shows that it'll help you overcome some of your trust issues. And
tell us your success stories about this. Please share it with us. Where can they share it with us, April?
They can share it with us on patreon.com, The A Show. Leave us some comments. We like to hear our comments. We do. We like for Colin to read it to us. I know you're hurting. Aaron's got a broken rib. He's beat up.
No, yes, I do. It's a cracked, I believe, and it was an unnecessarily cracked rib.
Yeah.
And if you're watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's someone I can't be mad at.
Yeah, Aaron took one for the team on a show, a very stiff elbow, and he's feeling it. So kudos to you for sitting here and doing the two shows in a row anyway.
A very dear friend of mine did it, and in wrestling, you just go with it. So
Yes, and he's a trooper. He's here filming a couple hours worth of entertainment today. Anyway, so props to you, Superman.
NWA, baby. NWA Power every Tuesday. Doesn't get any bigger, doesn't get any better, and doesn't get any badder. Tune in every week on Fight TV. We're there. Sorry.
There you go. And also, you if you're listening to us on Podbeam, you can watch us on you can watch our show on patreon.com, The A Show. And we like your support. We need your support. We appreciate your support. So we are grateful for your support. Thank you very much. And you can also stay in touch with us on Twitter _A Show. So thank you very much for your comments, your thoughts, and your attention, because nothing's worth more than attention these days, and we're happy to have yours.
If you like the show, tell a friend. If you don't, tell an enemy.
Yep. Mwah.